Let's talk about Squid Game, a global sensation that had everyone questioning how far they go for a pile of cash. Beyond the games and memes, the show's real horror is rooted in reality-crushing debt desperation and a society that feels rigged against ordinary people. These aren't just fictional anxieties they're drawn from. South Korea's modern history, reflecting a world of staggering inequality. Creator Hwang Dong-hyuk wasn't just making a thriller, he was exposing the brutal pressures that push people to the edge. The games may be fiction, but the desperation is real for millions. Tonight, we'll pull back the curtain and explore the real events that inspired Squid Game. We'll look at a violent labor strike and a so-called welfare facility that was more like a concentration camp. Because sometimes, the scariest monsters are the systems we live in. In 2009, at a Ssangyong Motor factory in South Korea, over 2,600 workers faced mass layoffs. For them, losing their jobs meant losing everything. So they fought back, occupying the factory in a desperate siege. For 77 days, workers endured cut-off utilities, tear gas from helicopters, and brutal police tactics. These weren't soldiers, but ordinary people forced into a battle for survival. The psychological toll was immense. Many never recovered. Hwang Dong-hyuk saw this and was inspired to create a story about extreme competition and human disposability. The parallels to Squid Game are clear: isolation, pressure, and a system that pits people against each other. The strike ended with police storming the factory, but the trauma lingered. Some workers later died by suicide. The stakes in these real-life struggles were just as high as any fictional death game. The real enemy wasn't a masked villain, but an economic system that treated people as expendable. This is the brutal reality that inspired Squid Game's world. Sometimes, survival itself is the game. Wild rumors spread online about a real Squid Game in the DMZ for broke soldiers. Let's be clear, this is pure internet fiction. No secret death games on the border. The DMZ is one of the most heavily guarded places on Earth. The idea is absurd. The rumor started as satire, but people believed it because it echoed the show's themes of exploitation and desperation. Squid Game resonated so deeply that people wanted to believe its horrors could be real. But the real-life tragedies that inspired the show are disturbing enough. No fake stories needed. For true horror, look to Busan's brother's home in the 1970s and 80s. Posed as a welfare facility, it was actually a state-sanctioned slave camp. Police abducted people, homeless, disabled, even children, off the streets for not having ID. Inside, they lost their names, became numbers, and were forced into brutal labor. Abuse, torture, and death were routine. At least 513 died, likely many more. There was no escape, no prize, just suffering, sanctioned by the state. The parallels to Squid Game are chilling. Dehumanization, absolute power, and lives treated as disposable. No one was truly held accountable. The owner served time for embezzlement, not for the atrocities. Only recently has the government begun to investigate. Sometimes the real monsters hide behind institutions, not masks. What ties all this together? Desperation. Squid Game struck a nerve because it reflects real fears. Debt, inequality, and a rigged system. The show's deadly games are a metaphor for a world where the rules are stacked against most people. The VIPs in the show mirror, real elites, insulated from the suffering below. The stories of Ssangyong workers and brothers' home victims aren't fiction, they're warnings. Their pain and struggle are why Squid Game feels so plausible. The show is entertainment, but the issues it raises are urgent and real. Don't just binge and move on. Talk about the real stories behind the fiction. Art should make us see our world differently, because in reality, the game never really ends. If this story shocked you, or made you see Squid Game in a whole new light, then hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite shows and their hidden truths. And hey, drop a comment below. Did you know about the real-life inspirations behind Squid Game?